Hey, reviews.org family, thank you for joining me. You know, my initial review, I walked you through some of the things I saw with this Hasselblad partnership. And today we are going to actually dive deep by looking at 4 cameras, including this one. So the OnePlus 9 Pro, the Pixel 4a 5G. We're going to take a look at the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and we're going to take a look at Samsung's Galaxy S21 Plus. So let's see how good the OnePlus 9 Pro's Hasselblad partnership is, what it's produced, all 4 cameras compared. Let's get into it. If any of these videos have helped you, please hit us with that thumbs up, hit a subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when we drop the latest content. So let's talk tail of the tape with these 4 cameras. Let's see if I can let's do a card thing. The main camera on the iPhone 12 Pro Max is a 12 megapixel camera. The main camera on the Pixel 4a 5G is a 12 megapixel camera as well. The main camera on the OnePlus 9 Pro is a 48 megapixel camera, and the main camera on the Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus is a 12 megapixel camera. 3 of these cameras have a telephoto lens. The 4a 5G does not. So the main things we're going to be looking at in this camera comparison is the main sensor, the pictures taken with the main cameras, and the pictures taken with the ultra wides. So here we are at the test desk, taking a look at the 4 photos. In the upper left-hand corner quadrant here, we have the OnePlus 9. And the right, we have the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Bottom left is the Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus. And bottom right is Google's Pixel 4a 5G. What we see here is the OnePlus 9 Pro definitely is a little sharper and crisper than the S21 Plus. In terms of the 12 Pro Max and the Pixel, they're about even. One of the things you'll notice in the difference between those 3 is that the 12 Pro Max has a little deeper color in the sky than both the Pixel and the 9 Pro. That could be that deep fusion thing going on there. But we have a little bit more detail in the clouds, a little deeper color saturation. But all 3 of those pictures look really good to me. Moving on, some flowers we took here with the 9 Pro, 12 Pro Max. Looking at how it handles the portrait mode on that rear camera, and you can see the difference here is the 9 Pro, I think, is crisper, it's sharper overall than the 12 Pro Max, but you can see they both kind of clipped some of the flowers in the portrait mode. They both softened some of the flowers. The flowers that are up front definitely are in focus and look good with both, although you can see there's a little more color saturation with the 9 Pro, and I actually like that. The 9 Pro looks a little truer. Well, it actually is a little driven more, the saturation, than the 12 Pro Max. The 12 Pro Max is going to be more natural, more lifelike, but I actually kind of prefer the look of the 9 Pro for this image. Now, let's get into dusk and take a look at some of these photos and how they're handling low light. So as you can see, as things started to get a little darker, definitely the Pro Max, the 12 Pro Max, the Pixel, and the S21 Plus all have a little darker images, whereas the 9 Pro brightened it up, brightened the image up just a bit. And the details in all of them are really nice. The cobblestones down here, you can see the coloration in the cobblestones on all 4 images, the waves, the water, the ocean, good contrast. The 12 Pro Max, I like the color saturation a little more in here, but the palm leaves you see with the 9 Pro, you actually get a little sharper detail and you get a little better color in those. Let's go back to here. And you can see here, these are a little darker on the 12 Pro Max, whereas on the 9 Pro, you get a little bit better exposure with those leaves, and so you're going to get a little more detail there. So let's move on to the next. We're getting to dusk, and this picture was really cool. Really like this photo. This is, you can see the moon is up. It's, what is that, a quarter moon? In terms of which picture you like, this one's really a toss-up. They're all 4 really solid photos. You get a little bit more lens flare with the OnePlus 9 Pro. There really are different qualities you can like about each of these photos. They're really beautiful. The one thing I do see here is the 12 Pro Max has a little bit more noise in the sky than the other cameras. So if we blow into that, push into that a little bit more, you can definitely see a little more graininess. It's a little more washed out in the sky with the 12 Pro Max versus the 9 Pro. So that is definitely a plus for the for the 9 Pro in terms of how it's handling this low light and what its camera is processing. So let's get to the other photos here as we move on into the night images. Let's go. Oh, and let me just stop here real quick. The 9 Pro's wide angle, this is just another example of just how good that 9 Pro's wide angle lens is. So here's the main lens, which presents a really nice image. And then usually the images with the ultra wides are a little junkier, a little noisier. But as you can see, this image compared to the main sensor, they're both sharp. They're both great. This one's a little darker, but not by much. But still a really nice image. So let's get on to this low light images. My wife and I were at a campfire, a little fire outside of our hotel room, a little fire pit, and I really like what the difference that you see between the 9 Pro and the 12 Pro Max. So you see with the 9 Pro, you actually get more detail in the night image here from the main sensor than you do on iPhone's 12 Pro Max. You can see my wife's boot. You can see more detail in the fur on the boot there. You can see more detail in the wrinkles, the folds of my pants here as we're sitting by the fire. And I actually just like the colors a little more as well. But the tail of the tape, the real interesting thing here is in the wide angle. So here's the difference between that 3 times larger sensor on the 9 Pro. So as you can see, much more detail and light exposure here with the 9 Pro's wide angle versus the 12 Pro Max's wide angle lens. Again, you can see more color, more shadow, less shadow, more color, more detail in my wife's boots. You can see more detail, more light, captured more light in the folds of my pants. And again, more light around that fire pit. So the 9 Pro's ultra wide is just a much more pleasing photo in this instance than the 12 Pro Max. Again, a camera iPhone that's generally regarded as one of the top. So that's why I use this image here. And then getting to the last image that I took with all these cameras is this one of the night sky. This was just a really impressive image from the 9 Pro. As you can see here, now when I showed these to my wife on each of the camera's displays, on their displays, the one that she liked the most was actually the Pixel and the 9 Pro. As I look at them here on this desktop, it looks like the 9 Pro, the S21 Plus, and the Pixel all had really good photos with a pretty low amount of noise. In terms of the ones that I would like the most here personally is I'm going to have to go with the S21 Plus and the 9 Pro over the 12 Pro Max and the Pixel. In the 9 Pro, you can clearly see so many stars here, and it captures more stars than actually all three of the other cameras. But the S21 Plus did a really solid job of giving us a photo that wasn't over or underexposed, but still caught all those stars, gave us solid detail in the palm tree and the palm fronds, whereas the palm tree and palm fronds in the 12 Pro Max are just mucky. They're just really soft. The palm fronds in the 9 Pro are sharp, and you actually get a little bit of color. There was a fire in the fire pit down there, so you're getting a little bit of that fire, that bit of that color there, and you get more stars than the Pixel. The Pixel also has sharpness in the palm fronds, a little sharper than the S21 Plus. But again, overall, my pick for these would probably be, the pictures that I like the most would be the 9 Pro and the S21 Plus. Now, I just wanted to show these other last couple pictures with the 9 Pro because I really like them. This is our hotel room that we were staying in when we went up to Pismo Beach. The ability of the 9 Pro to capture solid detail and light inside the room, as well as give you a great shot of what was outside the room, just was beautiful and impressed me. Because if we blow into the shot more, even though it does get grainy because we are blown up a few times, you still have really good detail in the people sitting at that fire pit outside our room, and we're on the 2nd floor. So that fire pit is on the 1st floor and probably about 20 to 30 feet from the room. In terms of if you walked downstairs and walked out, it would be about 20 to 30 feet from the structure of the building. So it's a good distance, and we're on the 2nd floor, and you still have that amount of detail in the image outside the window. To me, that was just very impressive and indicative of the quality I saw throughout using this OnePlus 9 Pro. So that is the cameras. Let's take a look at a couple slow-mo samples that I recorded from the 120 frame per second slow-mos from the OnePlus 9 and from the 12 Pro Max. So that's that. That is all 4 cameras. All 4 cameras you get with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, the Pixel 4a 5G, the Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus, and the OnePlus 9 Pro. What did you think? Which images were your favorite? I told you what my wife thought. I showed you which ones my wife thought were some of the best. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for joining us today for this video. If you have any questions about anything I showed you in today's video, please do leave those in the comments below. I will get to them. We love chatting with you. I'm Tshaka Armstrong for reviews.org. I will catch you on the next video.